Hi everyone, back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a quick reaction video about our brand new sporting director. That's right, the gardener has gone off to Manchester to cut their hedges and mow the lawn, and we have a brand new sporting director. The club wasted no time to get this lad in, and this is the lad right here. The wonders of the internet. Marcus pulled up his picture. It is Paul Mitchell. No, not brother to Grant and Phil. We're not saying get out of our pub. We're saying get in our club. There you go. I had to get that one out for you as well. But yeah, Paul Mitchell comes with a great pedigree in terms of a sporting director. And this is a great appointment by Newcastle United. Now, he was very, very sought after, ironically enough, also by Manchester United, and Sir Jim Twatcliffe and Ineos wanted him in apparently as a sporting director even before they talked about Dan Ashworth. So this could be an absolute coup for Newcastle United by getting rid of Dan Ashworth, banking 10 million quid. That's right, Man United fans, not 2.7, 10 million quid plus, more likely, and getting probably their number one target in Paul Mitchell. So the club look like they might have played an absolute blinder here with this guy. But who is Paul Mitchell? Most of us are asking that question. So he's a former player. He played for Wigan, I think for Wrexham as well, for MK Dons. He had to retire from injury, 27 years old, I think it was, very young age. But he's been working in football ever since, started at the MK Dons, and he's worked his way up in his career. And he's really well renowned for player recruitment, which is massive for Newcastle United, to be honest with you. So some of the signings that this guy has made throughout his whole career, I mean, wait to hear some of these names, they're absolute box offers. So he signed Son Heung-min for Spurs. He signed Sadio Mane for Southampton. He signed Dele Alli, going to Spurs as well, Toby Alderweireld. Danny Olomo for Leipzig, who's currently tearing up at the Euros. And he signed our very own Kieran Trippier as well for Spurs from Burnley. So the guy's got some serious pedigree when it comes to player recruitment, which is massive for Newcastle because that's what we need. We've just had to sell players to balance the PSR books. I honestly do think not having a sporting director has hurt the club a little bit. You know, as much as Dan Ashworth is, you know, we all looked around and said, what does he really do? I mean, the story kind of within football, for those who are in the know, that Paul Mitchell is more hands-on and he's more involved with recruitment of players than he is more with the back of house stuff. He did some wonderful things, you know, when he moved to Monaco in terms of data analysts and things like that, in terms of helping out, you know, the structure of the team. But Dan Ashworth is a lot more involved in that kind of stuff, you know, in terms of sorting out the dietary requirements and the, you know, the way the club operates almost off the pitch, whereas Paul Mitchell's strength really seems to lie in recruitment. So this is massive for Newcastle, I think, and it could be an unbelievable appointment. It could be a transitional appointment for us. It really could change the game. We've sold players on. We reportedly got 100 million quid in the transfer market. And a lot of people are losing their shit about that and saying, oh, it's only 100 million quid. That won't buy anybody. But you've got to remember the amortization of players. I always get my teeth mixed up with that. But spreading the costs of players, you know, so 100 million quid in this summer could actually mean 4 or 5 50 million quid players spread over time, because you're paying 10 million quid a year for 5 years. And that's how clubs are doing business these days. Chelsea have been doing it for ages now, 8-9 year contracts and getting £100 million players. So there's no reason why Newcastle couldn't spend that money wisely, and also with a guy who's got unbelievable contacts. So going back to his kind of career progression, you know, he moved on from MK Dons, you know, Southampton, Spurs, Leipzig, Monaco. These are massive clubs. You know, he had involvement with the MLS as well, with the New York Red Bulls as part of that kind of franchise as well. So the guy knows how to work in a big project and you know, and deal with that pressure, and also progress as well in terms of success in signing players as well, working with managers. You know, he's worked with Mauricio Pochettino really well. That Spurs team was a fantastic team that nearly won the league under Poch, you know, and if he can do the same thing for Reddy, that'll be absolutely fantastic. So this could be a really exciting appointment, I think, for the football club. He starts work straight away, which is brilliant, because the transfer window now is open. You know, we've kind of moved on the PSR players. You can still moan and groan about Minter and Anderson, as disappointing as that is. But if this guy's got the kind of contact that he is to go and spot players like that, he'll be involved in the scouting network as well. He'll maybe help the likes of Steve Nixon, who's done a decent job thus far, but he'll help him reach out at different targets. There'll be players that he knows. There'll be agents that he knows who have got really good players who are looking for an exciting new project. And Paul Mitchell could be the guy to sell this concept to them. He spoke to the club website, talked about his immense pride of coming into Newcastle United, and he can't wait to get working on this great project. Darren Eales is like the cat that got the cream. He's buzzing that he's got this brilliant guy in. And again, he was so high in demand by some of the biggest clubs in the world, really. You know, as much as we like to take the piss out of Man United and Liverpool, they're the huge football clubs. They wanted this guy in to sort them out and take them to the next level. Liverpool were desperate to have him in, and you know, the success that Liverpool have had over the last few years. Manchester United obviously are looking for a total, you know, game-changing appointment in terms of their football club. They feel they've got that in Dan Ashworth. Now, we thought we had that in Dan Ashworth. Didn't really, happen long enough for us to really see any serious impact. Ironically enough, if Minter was a Dan Ashworth signing, between Minter and Dan Ashworth compensation money, Dan Ashworth has probably saved Newcastle and PSR, so maybe we'll stop sticking the boot into him in that regard. But this isn't about the past. This is about the future. This is about Paul Mitchell coming to the football club. I'm buzzing for it. I'll be really interested to see what kind of players he can bring into the football club with those contacts that he has. He seems to have great pedigree, and a tried and tested CV as well. You hear all these names thrown out in football, and it's all about potential and this and that and everything. But this guy seems to have succeeded every single club that he's gone to. And you look at the progression, starting off at MK Dons, no disrespect to them, and then up to Southampton, up to Spurs, up to Leipzig and Monaco, huge football clubs that this guy's worked for. And he's been successful in every single one. So I'm really excited about this appointment, and I hope he works well with Eddie. Hope he brings in some really good targets. I think he could open up a total different sector of the transfer market to the football club, which is exactly what we need. Some of the targets have been very uninspiring, and maybe that's because we haven't had a sporting director with their contacts and their skill set to get us to those good targets. So maybe we'll start seeing better players linked to the football club and inevitably sign for the football club. But let us know in the comments below what you think about the appointment of Paul Mitchell. Are you excited? Are you looking forward to it? Are you keen to see how he gets on? Are you a little bit skeptical about it? We always like to hear from you, whatever your comment may be. Smash it below. We'll do our best to reply to you if you take the time to comment. We take the time to reply as long as it's above the belt or it's flick time, as you guys know already. If this is the kind of thing you like the channel, subscribe. We're over 8K now. Thank you so much to you wonderful bastards who did that. And it's amazing. We want to try and get to 9K next. So smash that button, guys. Recommend it to family and friends. Have a cracking day wherever you are, and we'll see you later. Cheers.